Good afternoon. I'm Yamitra Waddell. I am the founder and CEO of Waddell Consulting Services and Bear Your Hair LLC. I have a master's degree in healthcare management and currently working on my PhD in organizational leadership. I just want to talk to you today about three important steps on how to make it happen, how to make a turnaround. First, I want you guys to do something for me. I want you to think in your mind, I want you to imagine the biggest, baddest house, your dream house. It has everything you want: three beds, six, seven bedroom, the bathrooms, the match. You have the lawn, the pool, everything you can imagine. That house is just your dream house. Now, imagine that that house is yours, free and clear, no charge. How many people's houses just got bigger? Mine did too. When you tell me anything is free, then I'm going to add on to whatever it is that I'm going to add on. So when you picture that house, one of the things that you do automatically is that you picture the house already done. You don't picture what happens before the house gets built. So before the house gets built, you have an architect, a designer, somebody that comes in and looks and see what you need to do. You have the builder, and he comes in and he clears everything out. And then he starts to lay everything brick by brick to lay your foundation. So today what I'm going to do is tell you how to take your bricks that are going to make your foundation so that they can become your dream home, your dream, whatever it may be, to start your business, to be a better person. Whatever it may be, I'm going to teach you how to use those bricks to build what you want them to be. Tip number one is to face fear in the face. July 26, 2004, my now ex-husband had his way with me in front of my child. That is the most terrifying thing in the entire world. And after that, my next thought was, oh my God, I'm going to jump out this window and see if I can't make it to go get some help, because I can't live like this anymore. But I knew I couldn't do that. There was a whole lot of things going on. I was afraid because I was a first lady and I didn't want to ruin his image, and I was afraid because I didn't want to leave my kids, but I knew I had to do something. That morning at 7:15 in the morning, I decided to look fear in the face and leave. I left and I haven't looked back since. You have to choose when you're going to look fear in the face. It's not an option. If you don't, you'll never move past where you are. You have to keep going past that point. There is a reason that you survived. What is in front of you is far greater than what is behind you. And you have to know that. You have to know that, yes, I'm afraid, but yes, I want to live. I went to a counselor during that time, right after I left. And the first thing she said to me was, Miss Waddell, do you want to live or die? And I said, excuse me? She was like, do you want to live or die? And I was upset because I was thinking, you should be telling me what to do. I'm scared. I want direction. I want some understanding. And she said, when you decide if you want to live or die, then you call me back. And she hung up in my face. And I was upset. It wasn't until later that I understood what she was trying to tell me. I had to decide what it is that I wanted to do. I had to look fear in the face and decide that regardless of being afraid, regardless of whatever was going on, I wanted to live regardless of fear. So number one is you have to look fear in the face. It's not an option. If you think there's an option around that, then you might as well stay where you are, because that's where you're going to end up. Number two is to focus on what you can do. During some of my darkest times, came across a quote, because at that point you're going step by step, and sometimes that's all it takes. When you look fear in the face, you have to go step by step, day by day, and so you can focus on what you can do. So there's a quote by John Wooden. If you're a basketball fan, you know who he is. And the quote says, "Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do." And I figured, why not try it? I don't have another plan. I don't know anything else to do. So why don't I focus on what I can do? And so at that point, I decided, hey, maybe I'm not as dumb as he told me I was. Maybe I'm not as slow as he thinks I am. So I started to do some research. And when I figured out, while facing fear and doing one little bitty step at a time, that I could figure out some things. And no, there wasn't a lot of help along the way. So what that meant was I did it myself. That meant I studied the laws. I represented myself in court. I won the case. I did a whole lot of things because when I focused on the small things that I could do, the doors for the bigger things opened up that I could not do. Um, and when you focus on what you can do, it eliminates all your other options of not doing them. Then your fear becomes smaller because then you're focusing on one little thing at a time as opposed to big picture. Sometimes you have to do it in bite size. You have to do it scared. You have to do it with your knees shaking. You have to face fear in the face. There is one of my favorite stories in the Bible is Joshua's getting ready to go to the other side and he sends the scouts out and there's like, oh, there's giants over there. You can't go. And he goes and looks and sees the giant, but he walks up to the giant anyway. And he says, you know, either you're for me or against me. And the giant says, hey, man, I'm the captain of the Lord's army. I was waiting on you to come down here to get what is yours. And so sometimes when it may look like it's a giant thing, it may look too big, but actually when you walk up to it, it's really not as bad or as fearful as you think it is. It's all in your perception because you're seeing it from far away as opposed to up close. So your second thing is you have to focus on what you can do and leave what you cannot do alone. And it will, I'm a living witness, it will come to pass. Your third thing is to simply do what is in front of you. If every day you get up and the most that you can accomplish is if you're going through or if you're trying to start a business or if you're trying to do whatever, if the only thing you can do for that day is to make a phone call to do some research, that's the one thing you do that day. You cannot belittle what you're doing at any point in time because everything that you're doing is important. If you're really serious about making something happen and you write out what you want to accomplish and you have it down in bite-sized pieces for you to accomplish it, then it becomes a lot simpler. The fear is not as great. You can focus on what you can do. And then you simply do that because there's no way around not doing it. I found that out the hard way. I thought it was just going to magically happen. And it doesn't just magically happen for anyone. I don't care how smart you are, how good looking you are, how rich you are. It doesn't naturally, magically happen. You have to put in the work. And you can apply that to any area of your life if you want to start your business, if you want to be a better person, or if you want to focus on relationships, or you're trying to get out of something that is not true to who you are, then you have to do the work. I want you guys to do something for me. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. I want you to set your alarm clock, set it for 6 a.m. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to get up at 6 before you take a bath, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything. I want you to grab paper and pen and write down the one thing that you're going to do differently today than you did yesterday. I went to speak at a women's group and I was talking to them and they were coming off welfare and other relationships, and so I went and I shared my story how you can just, despite how bad it is, from living in a shelter to wearing other people's clothes to not using somebody else's toothbrush, you can still make something happen. Day by day, you can make something happen. And so at the end of me sharing my story, I told them, I gave them a pen. I said, tomorrow morning, I want you to get up and write down the one thing that you're going to do differently today than you did yesterday. It can be whatever you want it, big or small. It doesn't matter. And I want you to do that every single day. A couple of months later, a young lady walked in my office and she was looking for a job. She was like, hey, I know you. And I was like, okay, hey. And she was like, you came to the organization and you spoke and you told us to write down something different that we would do every day. And I wrote it down. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she was like, I really thought you were crazy. I didn't think it would work. She was like, but I stopped cussing so much. I started dressing different. I started talking different. It was hard and it was little bits and pieces at a time, but it helped change my mindset. And so now I'm looking for a better job. I'm trying to better myself for my children and for my family. And I just want to say thank you. And for me, that is a very humbling experience because I share my story because it is my true passion. It is who I am to help change somebody's life. And if I can help you do that, then that's what I'm going to help you do. I There's a science to it, even though at the time I didn't know it, but there's a science to how you turn your life around, how you make it happen. Is it hard? Yes. Is it a struggle? Yes. Is it difficult? Absolutely. Um, all of those descriptions were hard. It is so not going to be easy, but when you spend time to really understand who you are and the essence of who you are and what is important and what is not, and then you apply those 3 steps. You look that fear in the face. That fear is looking yourself in the mirror every day and say, hey, yeah, I don't like how you're thinking about people. I don't like how you're talking to people or your little attitude. If that's looking that fear in the face, because sometimes looking ourselves in the face is the greatest fear that any of us will ever have, or the fear of, I'm going to fail. I'm just not going to make it. We all have those days. That's just natural. It's that over talking that gets you focused on what you need to do. So once you look fear in the face, once you focus on what you can do instead of what you can't do, and once you simply start to do those things, it will begin to happen. So getting up tomorrow morning with your pen and paper, write down that one thing that you're going to do differently today than you did the day before. And every day that you do that, it's going to help you write a better you. And those will become your bricks that are going to build your foundation to make you a lot stronger. So now my question is, what are your bricks? We all have them. Is it the bricks of adversity, personal stories, personal pain? Is it financial? What are your bricks? And then what are you going to do with those bricks? I use the bricks of my pain, the bricks of my black eyes, the bricks of my bruised lips, my pulled out hair, the bricks of my hurt back and hip, the bricks of you're ugly, you're fat. I use the bricks of you're not smart, you're not any good. I use those bricks to build my foundation so that when I was alone, I knew that they could hold the weight of my pain, the weight of my pressure, the stress, the weight of the pressure of my world, not including the outside world, but just my world. They could hold me. They could hold my pressure. And I use those bricks to lay the foundation to go on and finish my MBA, to get my PhD. I use those bricks every single day to build me a pathway to a greater life. For me and my girls, I used my bricks to relocate my family and to start all over again. I use my bricks to get up every morning and to know that if I do not share my story, someone is going to die. And once I understood that point, once I understood if I didn't share what I know, that somebody may possibly die because they may think there's no hope, nobody understands, nobody can tell me what I'm going through but me, then it became serious for me. Then I realized that the bricks that I used, those were my bricks of my foundation. And I had to put them to use. It is selfish of me to think that I could keep them to myself. And if you have a story or if you have a gift, it is truly selfish of you to keep them to yourself. They were given to you for a reason. I firmly believe, was my life difficult for years? Yeah. But was it given to me for a reason? Absolutely. Am I thankful? Yes. Now that I understand what my purpose is and how I'm supposed to use that, I'm okay with sharing my story. Some people will be uncomfortable with what you're trying to do. Some people will be uncomfortable with you getting up every day and writing out that one thing that you're going to do differently. It may be your friends. It may be your family. It may even be yourself. You may be uncomfortable with what you're doing because the old you wants you to stay the old you. The new you is fighting to get out. And that's when you have to look fear in the face. That's when you have to concentrate on that one thing that you can do. That's when you have to simply do the simple task to get in front of you. My abuser said something to me when I was 26 that I didn't understand. He said, at 40, you're going to be amazing. You're going to be an amazing woman. I was like, I'm not even going to live to 40, so I don't even know what you're talking about because you're going to kill me before I even get there. And I firmly believe that. But one thing is true. He's right. I'm not amazing because I'm better than anybody else. That's not it. I'm not amazing because of anything that happened to me. I'm amazing because I am a survivor. I'm amazing because I took the bricks that he threw at me to bury me. I stood on them and built more bricks on top of it. And I kept building until I got myself up and up and up until finally those bricks are at the bottom of me and they're no longer up here with me so that I can keep going and I don't have to worry about them. And so, yeah, that makes me that makes me uh, an amazing person. That makes me stronger than what I was before. Because sometimes you don't realize how strong you are until strong is the only option that you have. And when strong is the only option that you have, when you have absolutely nothing but you and God, then these three steps, are they hard? Yes. Will they work? Absolutely. One final thought I want to share with you guys is that you have a resolve inside of you that is so strong to survive. It will overpower you and make the possible possible. It will make the impossible seem easy. But at the same time, if that resolve that you have that is so strong that is fighting to get out, if you suppress it or if you let people push it down every single day, it will have the opposite effect. Then that resolve to survive will be less than. It will just be a resolve to stay where you are. And how dare other people to make you stay where you are? They're not you. You're not them. So why should you stay where you are when you can do better? And the only reason why you're not doing better is because you choose not to. Because if you're still, if you're quiet, if you listen, that resolve to survive will speak to you. You'll feel it and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. I'm ready to go. And if you share that with people the wrong way, they may take it as arrogant or you're better than or you're trying to forget where you come from. And in essence, you're not forgetting where you're coming from. You're using the bricks of where you are to get you to where you want to be. Um, I hope those 3 points helps you guys. I thank you for letting me share this time with you. I'm excited. If you guys would like for me to, I also do speaking to small groups, large organizations. I have spoke at hospitals and small businesses before about violence in the workplace, um, bullying at work, because that happens among adults, and just a variety of topics. But I am open if you guys want to contact me. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions or if you just want some more information, I will have handouts. Well, not handouts for you guys, but I do have some PDFs that I can send you, can email you. You're more than happy to share this video. Just let me know before you share it. And then if you know me, my contact information is below. I hope this helps, guys. Remember those 3 simple steps. Look fear in the face. Every single day that you get up, look it in the face. Number 2, focus on what you can do and not what you cannot do. And number 3, simply do that one thing. Don't forget tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., set your clock, set your calendar. You're going to grab that piece of paper and you're going to write down that one thing that you're going to do that you did that you're going to do differently than the day before. As always, I thank you guys for watching. Part 2 of my book, if you haven't read part 1, Fearless Woman, Born to Give Thanks. Part 2, Transformation, will be coming out in January 2016. In October 2015, the workbook will be coming out, as well as a personal journal where I share with you some of my favorite scriptures that really helped pull me through when I was going through, that helped guide me or give me direction, or were the answer to prayers or the answer to something that was going on in my life. So I look forward to sharing those with you. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Thanks, guys.